Hello, everybody. This is for the renewing of the mind, which is my theme for this semester. And I wanted to do a tape on a five-minute tape on mental health, mental illness. Romans 12:3, the Apostle Paul admonishes us to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We don't talk about mental illness much in church. It's likely that most parishioners have ever heard anyone preach a sermon about it. According to the National Alliance of Mental Illness, churches are not speaking much about mental illness. And there's probably a lot of reasons why. But as I did my research, and I did very little, I am a certified Christian counselor. I have observed that many leaders don't know a lot about it. But getting a minister's license doesn't make you a counselor. So a lot of times mental health goes unnoticed in the church. We just finished a church service here, and so I'm doing my tape because it's mandatory that we do this, and so I have assistants here to help me, so it's a little noisy, but we're getting the job done. Thank you. It's all about renewing the mind and getting a better perspective of things. So our culture, our society is experiencing the major effects of mental illness now, how we've ignored it. And so now it's showing up in the population with the shootings, with the bombings, with the type of societal events that are happening. Tragedies are showing us that people are dealing with tremendous stress, and a lot of them don't know how to handle their affairs. And so a lot of this comes into the church. It's a cultural thing. It affects us economically. It's a political issue, but God has a spiritual remedy for all of these things, because we all know what it means to feel emotionally fatigued, physically drained, and spiritually defeated. The Bible says, for as a man thinks within himself, so is he. So that's all of us. There are times when we feel a little down, and a lot of times when negativity comes into our thinking. And so your emotions are caused by how you interpret life. But our victories come in renewing our minds and how we see, how we transfer our situations through the way that we interpret the stimulus that we face. For God has not given us a spirit of fear. Okay, you guys move away, get down. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. The fact is that our emotions are controlled by our thoughts. And so we need to have the mind of Christ. This is the answer. This is what the renewing of the mind does. It takes away the old nature, the immediate reactions that we do to things, and replace it with the peace and the rest of God in our hearts. We pause and let God take up the cause. And so this is what I'm all about as a spiritual counselor and as a pastor. Having a relationship with God is fundamental to overcoming our anxieties and our fears. So Jesus said, peace I leave with you, and my peace I give you. And this is the peace that the world can't give us. We can only get it in God, and we don't talk our way into it, but we press our way through it, through the transforming of our thought system, our perspectives, and the renewing of our minds. So we rejoice in the Lord. We fix our thoughts on things that are true. We change our spiritual atmosphere through the way that we think. We think ourselves happy despite the situation. And we want to be strong in the Lord. So as those that come out of the world into our churches and fill our pews, bringing their anxieties with them, we have an answer for them from the Lord, that the Lord can renew your mind. Thank you.